Hello, everyone. It's me, Natalie Cousins, and I am back with some great and exciting news. We are going to be speaking with Iqbal Sani, and he is from WFG, certified financial educator. He's also going to be talking to us about the importance of having a financial plans, talking about planning it out. And the reason why I brought him on is because from time to time, there are a lot of us who don't know that we need to plan. A lot of unexpected things tend to happen, and then we're left flying at the seat of our pants to get things done. So we're going to bring him on, get to talking with him, get your pen and paper, get notes. I think that this is one of the most important aspects that we need to talk about and cover in our life. So welcome, Iqbal. How are you today?
Good. Thank you, Natalie, for inviting me.
No worries. And thank you so much for carving out some time out of your busy schedule. I know that you are definitely one that's very passionate about this industry, and I respect you so much for that. So we are going to dive right in. You are certified financial educator here in Canada, and you're from World Financial Group. I like to use the acronyms WFG. So welcome to the show, and let's talk a little bit about it.
Sorry,
Can
you're
you hear
cutting
me,
off
Iqbal?
somewhere. Yeah, it's better.
Wonderful. So just tell us how you got into the financial industry, what made you get started, and tell us a little bit about WFG.
Wow. First of all, thank you. And thanks everybody who's listening to this. Appreciate your time, Natalie, as well.
Yes.
I was a multimedia professional before getting into this financial industry. And I was working as a multimedia professional into 3D animations, special effects into Hollywood and Bollywood movies.
Yes.
But yes, I did earn what a lot of people would dream of. But sooner I came to realize that it's not about money only, what you're making, but very importantly, what you're saving. And at the end of my tenure there, I was not left with any money in my pocket. So that intrigued me to know more about hard-earned income, which a lot of people they fail to realize. So that moved me into financial services, and it's been almost 8 years. I'm with World Financial Group, and the journey is great. And I've learned so much about money and finance, which I never did in my entire life.
Yes.
So yeah, this is great. And the World Financial Group is into the industry for the last 38, 39 years.
Okay.
And this company is changing a lot of families' lives and spreading education about money and finance. Yes. To every single individual who is living in this part of the beautiful world. And yeah, delivering as much as information we could. And that's what we're doing every single day here.
Yes. And so World Financial Group, let's talk about the services that World Financial Group offers.
Well, we are mainly into three big industries. And by the way, just so you know that World Financial Group does not have any product of its own, and we are the basic distributors of financial services products in Canada and United States as well. So we majorly deal with mortgages, all the debt side, debt consolidations, anybody who is under debt and they want to come out of that. Also, we are into investments like education plan for the kids, investment plannings and retirement planning, tax-free savings account, all those different types of investments, and a majority into insurances and all types of different insurances we deal with as well.
All right, so let's talk about insurance. I have experienced both of my grandmothers passing, so I know what happens there in terms of planning. But more recently this year, I think I have experienced a lot of passings. And so it becomes a sensitive subject when you ask someone, or do you even ask the person, do you have insurance, or did your parents have insurance, so on and so forth. And so it becomes a sensitive issue because as a person passes away, obviously death is unexpected and we don't know when it's going to come. But are we prepared, and are we planning? You also opened up my eyes about travel insurance. I do a lot of driving back and forth, Canada and the US. And so when you talked to me about the travel insurance, I was like, oh my God, all this time, you know, I'm thinking car insurance, my children are in the car, but you opened up my eyes to what the travel insurance can do. And obviously it's proven itself to be life-saving. So let's talk about insurance, the different types of insurance, and even if you can give me some examples of situations where individuals have not had insurance.
Well, yeah, it's a very big subject, and you asked me a lot of questions on that. Yeah, so let's start with the travel first. We all need to know that anybody who has a OHIP card, whenever we travel outside Canada, outside our province, we're not covered. And majority of population, anybody who's traveling outside, they have lots of issues, and once any emergency comes up, there's a big problem, and the problem is money, and so we want to make sure that in few dollars, a lot of people, they can protect themselves on all emergency, medical transportation and emergency services. So they don't pay, and they don't go through that financial trouble for whatever travel reasons they're actually going to. So this is one of that. Secondly, very most important thing is our diet, the way we are living, the way we are, the stress of a lack of money is there, and more stress of work, and so people are not able to correlate with their hard-earned money. So a lot of people, they go into stress, and some people I've seen in the last few 4 weeks, there was like 5 major different cases where a lot of youngsters, they got a heart attack, and a lot of people going into stroke and all those dreaded diseases.
Yes.
Well, it's not something exciting at that moment of time, but the what happens in house, that majority of the people, we take it casually, that we expect that we should be fine, nothing is going to happen to us. But this is what something we don't know, and if something of that sort happens to any single person, the first thing compromises is the ability to earn the income.
Yes.
So the person is busy taking care of their health. They cannot move around. They don't want to be on the bed at that time, because the bills are too high. Everybody wants to pay off their debt, or take care of their household livings. But unfortunately, they cannot go to work, and they cannot perform at the same highest level they were doing while they were in good shape. So unexpectedly, those things happens, and the financial trouble comes in the most dreaded form. So I encourage everybody who is listening to this, and let's spread this information to people, that let's protect our income on all sorts. Yes, if somebody passes away, that's a permanent loss of a person, cannot be replaced. I mean, there's no replacement. But yes, with education and information, we can make sure that the income of that person is protected for the next like 15, 20 years, or even 30 years or so. And yeah, so insurance, I was not in favor of insurance before I came to this industry. And I was under this impression that, what the spouses pay, and when they pass away, the money goes to the kids. And the person who is paying is thinking about this, that what is in for me? Yes, I'm here for my kids as well. I came to this country, and everybody comes to a beautiful country like Canada to give the best for their kids, but something for them as well. So when I got into World Financial Group, and learned more about money and finance, I got like deeply impressed by the strategies this company had, and so good strategies where a lot of people who are earning money, but they don't get the best benefit out of their hard-earned income. So this company is educating people on every single week or every single day, without charging anything, which is the most important thing, and changing lives all across, all the way from insurances, different types. Though we can talk about that into details as well. But yeah, this is what we're doing. And it's so fascinating. I get so impressed and passionate about every life we protect.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, hey, wow, this is something great. But there's a lot of work to do. There's like more than 35, 36 million population living in Canada, and more than half is not even protected. So thinking about that, what I'm thinking right now, that there's no time to waste. I mean, there's so many people looking for us, and so many people are looking forward. Hey, can you please help me to protect my income? And when people pass away, there's something known as intergenerational wealth transfer.
Yes.
And most commonly we know this as estate transfers. If not planned, then somebody else is becoming rich, and there's no education about that. So we're trying to spread this word out, and talking to so many people that, you know what, if we go to work from day in to day night and we work so hard, let's spend some few hours, some few minutes to understand where this hard earned money is going. And the worst case scenario is everybody would have so much great information about money and finance where they would have never had before.
Correct.
And yeah, so a lot of people can change their lives altogether in few days and few moments.
So let me talk about on the insurance side, where I became fascinated with the insurance is when we first sat down and you talked about, and I might not get the terminology right, so that's why we have you here today. So I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I have 2 children, and for a while, the main thing that I was caught up on was RESPs. And when you sat down and you showed me the universal life insurance for children, is that what it is?
Yeah,
And
that's
how putting away a portion of that as early as possible with your children's and showing how it equates to wealth for them well beyond 20, well beyond 30 is where it was a big eye opener for me. And, you know, my parents introduced me to you and to the whole wealth game. And so for me, let's talk about the differences, because I know that there's the term and there's the universal life, and, you know, I'm paying into it. I now understand it more than I did a couple of years ago. So let's talk about that and the importance of why someone should get that.
Well, yeah, this is so great, and I so feel impressed that you have so much of information about money now, and it feels great. By the way, having term insurance is still good than having no insurance, which is very very important. And see, a lot of people, they have houses, so they have house insurance. Some people drive cars, so they have car insurance. So we have every single thing protected in our life except us, the person who is actually the bread earner member of the family. They sometimes they're so busy they forget themselves, and the bread earner member of the family is the most important person in that family who is driving that family vehicle. And so it becomes our responsibility to make sure that if we are there or not there, our family does not get compromised on their lifestyle living. So it's so important to get this insurance done for every single family. I love it to my death now.
Yes,
um, and see, most important, if we just differentiate between term and a universal life is a permanent plan where whatever money we put, there's some investment portion there, so we can utilize that investments by the time we are growing. And the term insurance is great. It's cheaper to afford in the beginning. As and when we get older and there are more renewals, it gets expensive.
yes.
But I still encourage every single person who cannot afford that affordability to buy by itself a whole life or universal life insurance. At least they should get term insurance so that they can protect their income, they can protect their debts, whatever they are. And so which is great. And if somebody wants to take the best advantage, that while they are paying their insurance, there's some money gets accumulated, and there's some investments there, so they can utilize that in their retirement life or whenever they feel like, and that plan is actually for the long term basis.
Yes.
And the reason I prefer whole life and a universal life is, a lot of us, we plan to retire at 65, and we don't know, by the way, but this is the plan for most of us. So what's going to happen after 65, which means we're not going to go to work, and so we're doing nothing. We're not involved in any employments, or that is the time we want to live our life
Yes.
in our older ages. So, and most people, they're gonna how do I say this? Not a good statement, but it's a reality that most people might pass away in their 80s. So the average survival age of a male is close to 79 or 83.
Yes.
There are different various numbers, and so this is what I see when people retire at 65. and if they pass away at 85 or 83, whatever age that might would be, so we're thinking that the person should live to the longest period of their life tenure. But where the money is going to come from after the person has retired, if we have not invested somewhere today, how are we going to get money when we retire? And if we are assuming that Canada pension plan, I'm sorry, apologize on that, CPP and old age securities is going to give us the best benefit. No, not correct. I would say all the viewers who are watching this, they can go on Google and they can type on Canadian Retirement Income Calculator, and there's a CRA website. You can put your own numbers and see what are we expecting when we retire in old age securities and different kinds of pension plans and retirement plans. So universal life could be one of the ways, and whole life is one of the ways where the money can be withdrawn if designed properly at the minimized taxation or maybe no at all. So it totally long term. They're thinking about short or long terms, and are they thinking about that? Hey, what do I leave for family? And if I need money when I so anyway, so a lot of people they're thinking about, can I get the money while I live? Yes, it is possible. It's just need to sit down and have that information first.
All right. And I know that everyone watching, this is a wealth of information. I'm touching on a lot of things. Like this month, to my students that I'm teaching, to the clients that I'm consulting with, the main focus for this month is your success is my business. And so I'm bringing on entrepreneurs to be able to show, one, that you can be an entrepreneur and be successful, but primarily, when I first spoke with you and said, look, I need for us to be able to do a Facebook Live and get this message out there, is the importance of, a lot of us get into business. I talk to my clients about goal planning, talking about the money that they want to make. And as we talk about our visions and where we see ourselves, some of us don't include insurance. Some of us don't include anything for health or planning long term. And so, we say we want to make 150,000. We say we want to make $1 million. And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing on there that talks about financial planning. Like if they put their goals into place, it talks about they want to get a house. They talk about they want to be able to take vacations. They want to be able to travel. But 9 times out of 10, the financial planning is not discussed, and it's not put into the plan. And so this is very important that we educate and we get it out there. Also, I have children. I want to be able to leave a legacy for them, to be able to leave this business for them, my real estate business, whatever, for them to work on. But I also want to know that if, God forbid, I pass away tomorrow, my parents, whoever is alive, to be able to take care of my affairs, things are in place so that we're not scrambling for funeral arrangements, or we're not scrambling for preparation. And so this is very important. Let us talk about how you juggle this business, and how you do your consultations, and what your consultations consist of.
Well, yeah, great question. One thing I would say before we actually go to the consultation, that most people, they don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. Yes. And so this is where we want to bring this awareness that we work so hard. So how about just let's sit down and we can talk about money and finance. Yes. on the personal side for like a couple of hours a day, or maybe once in a day, or like an hour in a day, and that can bring so wealth of information that a lot of people, they will be like over impressed. They will be they will impress themselves that there's something which we don't know, which a lot of people know. And according to Stats Canada, they say when people retire at 65, approximately 91% population is going to be financially broke. Yeah. And which is not something good information for Canada. No. This is a very great country. So there's 9% population, 10%, they're doing something different, which 91% they're not doing it all. So so they only do one thing. They just plan, and they plan and they plan. and anything done with a plan is always going to give us some best results. And it has to be reviewed. The plans need to be reviewed again and again.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I forgot your for the second question.
Well, I'll piggyback off that. Yesterday I talked about planting seeds and it will grow. So this is a perfect example of planting seeds for it to grow in the future. So we don't see the benefit of it now, but we see the benefit of it later. And so that being said, you do consultations. I know as soon as I have a question, you're very quick on, Natalie, let me come and see you so I can explain it to you. So let's tell everyone about the consultation, how you offer it, and what you cover.
Well, the best way to talk is always face to face, and this is the most effective way. And if and I know a lot of people, they are busy in their life and they are like 110 things to do every single day, and but they're still not able to manage everything. But the most important thing, when it comes to a hard-earned money, is always have a discussion face to face, never on the phone, because it doesn't work that way. We cannot go to the doctor and say, doctor, you know what, I'm feeling pain on my stomach to right and left, and we can get consultation just over the phone. It doesn't work that way. So when we're dealing about money, it has to be face-to-face meetings, because that's where the difference comes in. And all the questions, what I do is anybody is more than welcome to walk to my office with a prior appointment. And so I discuss in my office. But if for some reasons a lot of people, they cannot come to my office, I always visit them at their places, and I don't mind doing that at all. I'm so excited when people ask me to come at their house, which also means, I mean, they are respectable people. They care for each other, and you know what? We don't work with conditions that if somebody needs a financial education, they should come somewhere, and we can take all these services to every single household, and that's what our mission is: no family left behind. And we want to give this financial information and education to every single individual who has been deprived of or who has been ignored by the financial industry so far.
Yes.
So yeah, and I can be contacted through my email. I can be contacted through my cell phone, and all social media contacts. I can be contacted through any different ways of contacting. And yeah, and we can take it from there onwards.
Okay, now you're a family man. Let's talk about how you juggle or separate your business life and versus your family life. It's important that we have some balance. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's very important. I'm a family man, and I love my wife. I love my kids, and I love everybody being around me as well, and somehow they love me as well. So taking time away from the family, my family is involved. My wife is actively in my business, and she's a backbone of my business. She really understands that what is supposed to be done. There's a great need out there, so we're fighting for a cause. So sometimes my family does a little bit of sacrifice for not being, I'm not there approximately in all weekends and all weekdays. But yes, this business is giving me lots and lots of time so I can spend with my kids, with my wife. We're not bound to, report to somebody else, but what we're doing is we take quality. I give quality time to my kids rather than quantity time.
Yes.
So we travel the world, we travel different places, and what an experience. And we always travel with all positive people who want to do something best in their lives. And I take my son to the school, bring him back. We go to play some sports sometimes, not all the way, not all times, but yes, my family gets involved into all conventions. We spend some time more together, going to different vacations. There's so many things. There's so many ways I'm giving my time to my family, which is not possible if I'm working for someone else. And so I would encourage anybody who are working for anybody else. This is the time to work on ourselves and create a fortune. I would say the job pays the bills, but
yes.
A business brings a fortune for our family. And this is something great. I'm so proud of that. I made a decision and commitment to come into financial services. We're touching so many lives, and that this business is giving me more time to spend more with my family. We're coming more closer, and we as a family, my kids, my bigger son is 9, smaller one is going to be 2 very soon, and the bigger one understands the importance of what we are doing in this business. And I'm so proud of that. We're trying to give him that environment of positivity and thinking positive all the time. So, he would understand the meaning of the word no. The only thing he would understand, what, just go for it and get it done.
Get it done.
And yeah, and yeah, so the positive environment is so important, and that's what we are creating in our home as well. There's different talks. We don't talk about negative stuff. We don't talk about anything which doesn't make any sense. The only talks we're doing right now, and all the time, by the way, is how we can grow more, how we can save more lives, and we're on a mission. And my family is helping me, and I'm so proud of them. And this is going great, awesome. I love this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love this.
And you know what? It's always, always, always great conversation with you. And you're very passionate about this. And I teach that if you're not passionate about something, or if you don't feel that flame, and if it's not igniting you internally, don't do it, because you're only harming yourself and doing damage to yourself. And so I just love the fact that you're passionate about it too. You're very educated about it. I feel like there's a difference between a sales rep and there's a difference between a service provider. And so I see you as a service provider because you're able to educate. If there's something that's not understood, you find another way to explain it. You always have the pen to paper in your hand, and you can appreciate that. And also this month we talk about like relationship marketing. We talk about how you do one thing and how you show up in front, and your authenticity is what gives you repeat business and referrals. So hence why we're here talking, is because I've met a lot of people who have tried to, get me to purchase insurance, but they could never dissect it and explain it to me and articulate it to where I could understand it. The other thing for me is I see a lot in my community where a lot of people don't understand the importance of, putting away money for your children, or putting away money for a rainy day. So it's very important. So guys, this is Iqbal Sani. He is from World Financial Group, a certified financial advisor. I've put his contact information in the chat. It is very important. He does complimentary consultations to evaluate where you are, where you'd like to be, and how to get there, most importantly. Iqbal, before we bring this lovely interview to an end, tell everyone any last words or anything of advice that you can leave with those who are still on the fence of if they need a financial advisor or not, and so on.
See, if we need to stay fit, we have to go to the doctor for regular visits. If we want our car to run better, we always go to the garage mechanic to get it checked, reviewed. Similarly, if we talk about money and finance and security and protecting our family, growth in our family using the tax advantage strategies, it has to be reviewed. It's not that we bought a plan and it stays forever. It has to be reviewed all the time. And I personally feel the way it is that this is not financial sales. It's a financial service industry. Yes. And the service is last forever. As long as we're living, that's where we need to get the service. And I just wanted to shift the change of mind from getting scared versus getting educated. We're going to pay one price. Either we pay the price of education, or we pay the price of ignorance. We would pay one of those prices while we're living. So it just makes sense to pay the price of education. It doesn't. Nobody can steal that from anyone. I mean, that belongs to the person who has it. And you know what? The world is good. It's more about giving. So what we can do is take a mission, take a commitment that we can spread the financial education to as many people as we know. Some would like today, some would like tomorrow. It doesn't matter, because when the revolution is there, a lot of people get to it, and this company is doing so great. And honestly speaking, Natalie, I cannot do all this financial education by myself.
No.
So we're actually looking for tons and tons of people, an army to create, who can further go and distribute financial education, and a lot of especially homemakers.
Yes.
Who don't get a chance to work on their own timing and terms and conditions. Well, you know what? I welcome them. Graciously. They can come and work with us on a part-time basis. Anybody who's doing a job or a business, or even studying in universities and colleges, they can take time to understand money. And so the more they have, the more better it is. The more education about money, the more better it is for their life. And anybody who has already bought some investments or insurances, it's a time to get review. It's always the right time. The
Yes.
day you decide, that is the day, it changes life further on. So I would say, always, sit down with a financial professional. It doesn't matter whosoever it is, but check it, review it, read your own documents. Make sure your spouse is aware of 100% all investments or insurances, any sorts of money matters. The spouses are aware, because what I see is billions of dollars is sitting in the financial industry with the insurance companies unclaimed, just because of the address change. A lot of people, they have not updated their address. The spouse does not know that one spouse was having so and so kind of investments or insurances done, and which is still unclaimed. And so, which is not a good sign though. And since people are working so hard, they're planning, so we need to make sure every single thing is updated. And anybody can contact me and come and visit me. I do a complimentary session, and I do different group seminars as well,
Yes.
just to educate more people about whatever they have. And if they think whatever money they have, it's going the right way, awesome, it was a review. If not, then it can be fixed. The time starts now, and the decision has to be made to become financially wealthy, financially secure. And I think so. We work hard for money. Now, this is the time. Let's make money work hard for us as well.
Wonderful.
So with
And
that,
so
thank you, and over to you back.
thank you so much. Now, he also has a money challenge going on his website. So you can visit, I posted it in the chat, wfgconnects.com /Iqbal Sani. And basically there you'll take the money challenge. And when you take the money challenge, it will also give you some ideas on how money works and so on and so forth. Iqbal, again, thank you so much for carving out some time out of your day. Absolute pleasure. Great nuggets, great tips. You guys get in touch with him. I cannot stress the importance of having a financial plan and coverage in order for your success to grow and your wealth to grow, and for you to leave generational wealth. Very important. Thank you so much. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Iqbal.
Thank you. Thanks, Natalie, for inviting me here. And I believe there's lots of families would be changed, and financial education could be spread out. And I really appreciate what you're doing for the community and for every single person. You yourself is a big name and fame in Toronto, and I see the dedication you have, in helping people in any other way they could be helped. And so hats off to you, Natalie, on that. I really appreciate what you're doing every single day. And thanks for inviting me today. Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.